leaders grow out of the mass thanks to challenges that life offers to them. So everybody has a part of the quality of the essence of leadership within, based on the fact that we are born. Tells already a story of a winner, because when it comes to the conception of a human being.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.
Heinz Kaegi is the mentor of leaders. He's a speaker and a best-selling author. He has designed and conducted over 1,000 future design processes for top executives and their management teams. Heinz, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. My pleasure.
The pleasure is absolutely mine. Thank you for taking the time to come on today. You're calling in, I think you said, from Switzerland here. I guess it's evening for you.
Today, yes. It is evening. Yeah.
Evening. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your evening here to chat with us, Heinz. There are 3 questions I ask every guest who comes on this show. In 90 seconds or less, can you tell me, where did you start? Where are you now? And how did you get there?
I started at the end of my C-suite career. I jumped from the cliff into my self-employership, and I trusted the angels that they delivered the wings on my way down to the beach in Florida, which they did. Right now, after 3 decades, touching and moving, inspiring and challenging hundreds of thousands of executives on 3 continents. That is where I am right now. And we have published several books. We have done thousands of workshops to moving leaders from hard work to hard work. And the way this will lead towards, Sam, is we will be creating an economy of heart. Yes.
Forgive me if I come across as offensive when I ask this question, but it really is truly inquiry more than anything. That's a fairly ethereal concept in its own right, where it's okay, we're going to move from hard work to heart work. What does that mean practically or tactically speaking?
Okay, practically, hands-on. I have been doing research. I was eager to find out, are there on this planet any leadership laws? Because the word itself is already so misunderstood. That's not to say that it's misused in many cases. Okay, so 7 laws of leadership. The first one, the foundation is, where there is no purpose, there will be no power. If you give me an hour, I can give you dozens, hundreds, thousands of proofs of the pudding. The second above is, where there is no vision, there will be no passion. I mean, look around you. The lack of vision competence in the corporate setting is huge, because those managers, they just watch the whole day the reality channel, and they forget about tuning in with the future channel. And that's why tomorrow they do the same thing as yesterday, just that they expect different results. It's not going to work. So if that is hands-on, then we go to the third level. Where there is no focus, there will be no freedom. The fourth one, that's a key one again, is where there's no commitment, there will be no achievement. On that level, Sam, for 1 full week, day and night, we work with the leaders on 12 levels of commitment. Now, this is no longer surface stuff. This is not theory. This is really dive deep. It's an immersive process. So at the end of this week, those leaders who have the privilege to attend, they have 100% clarity about commitment. Then commitment is no longer enforced throughout the cascade of an organization, which leads to an attitude of the people that do the work. we have to do. And that is not to the benefit of the clients, nor to the corporation, nor to the bottom line. It's the opposite. So with this process that we do, it's called LEX process. LEX stands for Leadership Excellence for life, for those leaders. So by doing it the other way around, with commitment that comes from within, the employees, the co-creators, then it's no longer we have to, it's then we want to.
Right.
So that produces then a happy bottom line, thanks to a happy top line, which are the human beings. Number 5, where there's no team, there's no success. Many years ago, in the development of all those models, of this pyramid, that was the tip. So I said, oh, success, that's the top. Only to find out a few years later, there's some more that is missing. What do you do with your life when you have achieved everything? Success. If you look at very old books from 2 centuries ago, or Henry Ford and all those wonderful people, they got into a dip towards, let's say, the autumn of their life. It was only about how can I pass it on? It meaning the wisdom of success to be fulfilled ultimately. So the 6th level is where there is no mentorship, there will be no leadership in an organization. And number 7, the top one, is where there is no hard work, there will be no excellence. Those are the 7. I'm right now working on number 8. Just between you, the audience, and me.
What do please tell, what is number 8?
This is a secret that I'm going to share when the time is right, which is soon.
Very good. I love
it.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
please.
In the context of my next book.
Okay. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. You've got a book coming out here soon called The 7 Laws of Leadership, which I think is really the breakdown of the seven
Yes.
things you just told me. When does that book get released?
It shall be released in the first quarter of 23. So probably February, March. Yes.
February, March of 23. Okay. And I'm assuming that's going to go through all the major channels so we can look for it. And we'll make sure, of course, we put, if there's a link or anything where we can put in, on a get notified list, certainly we'll make sure we'll include that there in the show notes. But I want to really get back into a lot of the things that you just mentioned here. And I guess before we do, though, how did you build this? Like, you said you finished your C-suite career and then you're like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life for the foreseeable future. But how did you develop these 7 laws of leadership? Was that something that you developed on your corporate career? Was this just extensive study? How did you get here?
Most of it through hands-on experience. Look, along my long executive career, I have produced many tops and many flops. The tops were outstanding for my ego, and the flops, they were my teachers to grow beyond. So I was actually focusing all my career on 2 questions mainly. One was, what makes a difference between a group of people seemingly working together and a peak performance team? An irresistible peak performance. And the second, what makes the difference between me as a manager and me as a leader? Those 2 guides, archetype of how to bring them together to form a team spirit within. So that the way I communicate, I convey messages, I inspire and challenge my people, is no longer based on their actual performance. It is now based by their potential, which requests me to lead from the future. And that is that path that I just described through these laws of leadership.
Do you, in your experience, feel like leadership and or developing this skill set, I'll even call it, is something you can develop? I mean, is this something that maybe somebody doesn't have the natural, typical things we see in the leaders that you're like, oh, hey, that's a natural born leader? Is this something we can build in people?
I say, out of experience, that leaders are not born. Leaders grow out of the mass thanks to challenges that life offers to them. So everybody has a part of the quality of the essence of leadership within, based on the fact that we are born. Tells already a story of a winner, because when it comes to the conception of a human being, there are so many sperms, billions of sperms, and if you make the race, hey, that speaks already about some aspects of leadership, which then through life, you are exposed to challenges, and that makes you grow into your own personal essence of leadership, if you choose to do so. So challenges are great because they make us grow beyond.
Absolutely. So let's dial really down into the practical steps of what it is that you're doing and maybe how you're doing it. Can you give us some color as to what that is?
This is based practical experiences, long time, and through an immersive process. This is not surface stuff. So actually, if you, as a leader, Sam, you're attending one of my master classes, and let's imagine we would start on the foundational level, which is key. Where there is no purpose, there will be no power. For those 3 days plus the 3 months, you spend lots of time with yourself, with questions that I'm asking, deep dive questions, which put you in a reflective inner reflection to come out with answers. So you discover, you recognize what is inside. And it's mainly about 2 things on that foundational level, fundamental level. It is about recognizing who you are. That is not inventing yourself. That is recognizing, okay? Recognizing who you are and what you are here for. What makes you tick? What do you stand up for in life? And what is your big vision that you want to fulfill? And this has nothing to do with becoming a copy machine for many other people. This is about discovering your own fingerprint so that you can leave footsteps along your trail. That means you discover within yourself your own power that makes you move forward. What is it you want to change or improve? And what are your motives to do that? Because only if wholeheartedly you are in this topic, whatever it might be, will you be crowned by success based on resonance. If you have a shallow feeling about the topics, you're not going to be ending up crowned by success. It's going to be average. And the LEX concept, the LEX stands for Leadership Excellence for Life. And that is an experience. So you get up to challenges that I'm going to offer to you in order to have the seeds that we plant grow from within. And like at the end, at the seeming end of such a long, many years process, you will be receiving a challenge from me that represents a once in a lifetime chance to grow beyond. Like for me, I have offered this challenge to myself at the end of LEX 7, the 7th level, the tip, where the principle is, once you reach the top, to your top executive, keep climbing. And so for me, I have offered myself the challenge to learn as how to conduct a symphonic orchestra. This is an impossibility because if you look at the partitions, this thick book with all the instruments on, with all the notes and stuff, this is like a Chinese town or a village when you want to read it. So forget it. This is impossible. Even though I wanted to become a conductor as a teenager, since my dad has chosen Heinz first to learn something solid, and thereafter, let's check out whether the conservatory is your path. So I have held true to that vision. So I found ways to attend an orchestra session, to get introduced, and then to get up to that challenge, which is way out of the comfort zone. And it teaches you how to lead beyond words.
That's a really cool next level challenge you have set for yourself. And I think you and I talked about this before we aired or started recording this. You actually get to fulfill that here from before this show will actually even go live here in the middle of October.
Yes.
That is absolutely cool. I love that. And I think it's really interesting that you said you're going to spend 2 to 3 months just working on the purpose, the level 1, like the bottom, the baseline thing. Why did you start there?
Because I have seen and experienced another path beforehand that didn't work. Me as the visionary, Sam, of course, in Florida, I started with Vision Quest processes for leaders. Fantastic. They came back after the Vision Quest day from early morning, bonfire, late evening or in the night. They came back, spark in the eyes, great visions, dreams and everything. 6 months down the road, most of those visions have transformed into illusions. So I said, Heinz, this was a great process. And still, there's something missing. So what makes leaders become true visionaries? In the sense of a true visionary is actually the best realist because he or she gets things done on the path. So I found out there is something deeper than just a vision. The vision needs a foundation, a solid foundation, which is the purpose of your life. Who are you and what do you stand for? That's it.
And those are questions I would argue, and you probably agree or disagree. I don't know, maybe not. Those are questions that few are willing to take the time to answer.
Yes. Yes.
And even if you came to me today in Heinz and you said, "Hey, Sam, answer for me, what is the purpose of your life?" I'd be like, well, I've got some canned answers, some things maybe that are surface that I could probably, spit back, be it spiritual, be it, more earth focused answers. And it's like, but they're probably not as introspective as potentially where you prefer people to go.
Yes. To the point, Sam. Absolutely. Congratulations. This is why I'm here to inspire and challenge you all to become who you are deep down inside.
Is this your version of retirement, Heinz? Because it sounds like this is what you do for fun or fulfillment or both.
Absolutely. I was asked a number of years ago, Heinz, how long do you want to continue doing this fantastic thing? Then I said, oh, what do you think? Why should I stop doing what I love so much?
I would argue you probably shouldn't. I mean, maybe the fruity drink on the beach isn't for you, but sounds like this probably is.
The beach boy within me has found, together with my dear Regina, my wife, has found a beautiful spot on the beach on the island of Cyprus. And we are there since 20 years. And from time to time, we are in Switzerland as well. Plus, I do have a home spot in the US, as I have shared with you already, Sam. So I love these contrasts and I love what I do. That's why I do what I love.
That is awesome. Tell me about your in-person events. I know that's something that you guys have some of those coming up here in Salt Lake City, and then maybe even potentially here in Florida. So tell me about those and how we can learn more about those events.
Yes, thank you. In 2023, in April, we'll be doing in-person events in Salt Lake City, plus probably one in Florida. And the same again in the month of August for those who could not attend in April. And I say this because we do on purpose. We do not pay events. It's a very intimate setting, maximum 25 leaders. Because as we already said, this is an immersive process that is not really for everyone. You need to be willing to face things that life wants you to develop, to bring out. And then there are things like lack of self-value, even at the top executive level, that confront you, that come across your path, and many more things. This is an in-depth process with fantastic results. We have so many testimonials that would anytime approve that every minute is worth to invest in the own development, because developing the body of leadership in an organization means always this is developing the power of the corporation. Because to the same extent that we shift our way leading people, we shift the future of the corporation. Easiest for you to find out about those events is you connect with me on heinzkaegi.com or kaegileadership.com. You shall have the links, Sam, available. Plus there is a landing page and you can connect as well to check what I'm saying when I stand on stage. You can watch my latest TED Talk about reaching beyond, about leading from the future, and about leaving a legacy of ideas and inspirations for your children and the next generation.
I love it. That is absolutely fantastic. And I think that's, and the reason I think this is relevant, obviously, to this show is that there are so many of us who are either leaders currently or aspiring leaders or will be leaders as our organizations grow and thrive and more people come on board, and getting, I think, the foundation set right early is paramount to, again, it's the, the old proverb of building a house on the sand or building it on the rock. It's like, okay, it's better to start with the rock. I don't think the house sand fared too well, if I'm not mistaken. So even though I am here on the Florida beach recording this right now, and I think there's a lot of stuff built on the sand here, but regardless, that's not the point. Just happen to think of that as I'm sitting here talking, kind of funny. But I think that's absolutely important, and that's how. That's why this is valuable, really, I think, to this show and to our listeners, is just because of the importance of leadership and getting these things set right out of the gate as our organizations grow. So thank you for taking the time to really break down, I think, even just your 7 laws. I mean, even just listening to those got my head to thinking: no purpose, no power, no vision. And you went through all those, so I won't rehash them. But those are really, really powerful. And I look forward to getting a copy of your book here when it comes out early next year. And of course, we'll also include here in the show notes the links to all of your websites where our listeners can find you as well. So Heinz, thank you for taking the time to come on the show today and really just share with us your life story and your purpose and vision for what it is that you're doing right now. I think it's absolutely inspiring. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, Sam.